Great. This meeting is being conducted virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Trustee Robbins and Green will not be present, as well as Ms. Ginsburg. Mr. Razzo.
Here.
Ms. Gray. Mr. Rue.
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Oakham.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Keogh. Chair Harris.
Here.
Staff participating in the meeting include Deputy CEO Louis Lugo, AEO JJ Popovich and Laura Guglielmo, and Chief Counsel Stephen Rice. Other staff and managers participating include Jean Kim and Ching Fong. Trustees, please use a raise your hand Zoom option to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. That brings us to item number 3, approval of minutes from the September 4th meeting. I need a motion. Second. Bonnie.
Okay, Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mr. Moore. Mr. Rue.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Thank you very much. Number 4, public comment. I have not received any requests for public comment, which brings us down to number 5, reports. LACERA operations briefing.
Yeah, Committee Chair Harris, briefly just highlight one item from the operations report. The prepaid debit card was officially signed into law by the governor over the last week. So the team, JJ's group, as well as the individuals that worked on that project are going to be ready to have that implemented by January, correct? Is when we're going to be able to reach out to those members that aren't banked to see if they're willing to participate in the prepaid debit card that will allow us to get away from the checks that we send out, which I think about 1% of our members right now we issue checks to.
The goal is to offer it beginning in January. So.
To offer it beginning in January, correct.
And strongly encourage.
Encourage, exactly.
Yes, we will be doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Other
Anyone
than
have
that,
any? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Other than that, just stand for questions on any other
You're saying any
items
questions
on the report.
Thank you. I know that's a big issue, and we've had problems with checks in the past. So thank you very much. That'd be a great improvement if we can convince those folks to migrate over to the debit card. Thank you very much. Number B, new calendar for pensionability determinations.
Good morning, trustees. Good morning, Chairman Harris. My name is Jean Kim, and I'm the Senior Benefits Attorney from the Legal Division. Presenting with me today is Ching Fong from Quality Assurance.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Today, Ching and I are very excited to share with you a new improvement to the pensionability determination process. While the process is an already existing one, we believe that this improvement has already been very helpful to everybody involved. And so we're very excited to share it with you. Next slide, please. First, we wanted to provide you with a quick overview of the existing process, just to provide you with some context. It is an important responsibility of the Board of Retirement to make determinations on whether a pay item is pensionable or not, and therefore should be included for purposes of calculating a member's retirement benefit. Next slide, please. There are two legal standards for pensionability, depending on whether a member is a legacy member or a PEPR member. For legacy members, a pay item must fall within the definition of compensation earnable, which is defined within CERL. Next slide, please. For PEPR members, a pay item must fall within the definition of pensionable compensation, which is defined under PEPRA. Next slide, please. The process for how a pay item is reviewed and how pensionability determinations are made by LACERA involves several parties and is a multi-step process. It starts with LA County or the Superior Court, and it goes through several parties within LACERA and then ends with the Board of Retirement. One note, a step that has been omitted from this chart is that once the board has acted on a particular pay item, then internally at LACERA, the board's action will also be communicated to both systems and communications. Systems maintains a list of pensionable pay codes so that they know how to process them when they see them, and communications will update the list of pay codes on lacera.com. Next slide, please. Now, Ching will go into a little bit more detail on the different steps of the process.
The process for determining pensionability starts with the request being sent to LACERA by the county CEO or superior court. With the request, they send over supporting documentation detailing the new pay item under review. Documentation may be MOUs, terms of successor MOUs, side letter agreements, or other pertinent memos or correspondence. Next, LACERA's Quality Assurance Division reviews the information received. If we need additional information or have questions, we correspond with the CEO analyst or Superior Court HR to get answers. Once we've gathered all the information needed, we draft our analysis of the pay item. The analysis includes a description of the new pay item and a suggested recommendation on pensionability under sections 31461 of SERL and 7522.34 of PEPRA. After QA's analysis is complete, it is forwarded to the legal division for review and board memo preparation. Legal's memo contains its final recommendation on the pay item. The memo then makes its way onto the board agenda for board approval. We then round out the process by notifying the CEO and Superior Court of the board's pensionability determinations for the pay items they requested. Next slide, please.
So this calendar is what we wanted to share with you today and what we think has been a substantial improvement to the process. So as I noted before, this process is already existing. However, it probably wasn't clear to our external partners how many different parties are involved and how many steps are involved in the overall process. Also, there were no set dates for any of the steps. So for example, when the county submitted their pay item, they wouldn't necessarily know when that pay item would appear in front of the board. Now, for every step of the process, we have added deadlines or specific dates. We started with a board of retirement meeting dates, which were already set, and worked backwards, taking into account what a reasonable amount of time for each step might be. We worked closely with the county CEO's office and the Superior Court to explain our idea and also to make sure that they agreed with the dates being proposed. The next slide, you can see that we've also prepared the calendar for the next calendar year. We think that this calendar has been a substantial improvement to the process for three reasons.
He's very much real.
One, we think that the calendar provides transparency. Everyone involved has an idea of the larger process and approximately how much time is needed for each step. And given how many different parties are involved, this transparency is really important. Secondly, we think that the calendar provides predictability. So the county knows that if they want a pay item to be reviewed by the board at a particular board meeting date, they now know when they have to provide LACERA with all the necessary information by. And similarly, we at LACERA know what's coming down the pipeline, and we know that we will have a reasonable amount of time to complete our review and analysis. And given how important of a responsibility this is, having adequate time to do our review and analysis is critical. And then finally, we think that this calendar provides accountability because each party is committed to meeting a certain deadline. We believe that this schedule really improves accountability overall and hopefully creates overall goodwill. And I think as a final note, we just want to say that none of these dates are set in stone. There's definitely some flexibility built in, and when needed, there more or less time can be taken. And then I think we just want to close with Ching sharing a little anecdote about how this has improved her workflow.
Thanks, Jean. Before legal created this calendar, I could never answer the county or court's questions about when their pay items would go to the board because I just didn't know. That answer depended on legal schedules, so I would just forward them the inquiries for them to handle. But communicating like that was very frustrating. Now that we have this calendar, all parties involved in the process have a mutual understanding of what happens next. The process is more orderly now, and we're even able to provide better service to our partners because of this advanced planning. For example, since I know my own deadlines in advance, I've given the county extensions to their deadlines on several occasions to help them get their items onto the board agenda as early as possible. And on the flip side, when our workload is too heavy, we would stick to the deadlines on the calendar. So I feel that there's been a greater sense of teamwork because of the increased transparency that this calendar has created between LACERA and our partners. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Jean.
That's all we have. Any questions?
Yeah, any questions from anyone here?
Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. That's excellent. With that, we're down to item 6, items for staff review.
Nothing to report.
Items for future agendas. That'd be number 7. Anything for that? Nope. Good of the order. Anyone have anything else they want to add to the good of the order? We already did that once, I know, just a few moments ago, but here's your chance to go at it again.
Thank you for running a great meeting.
Thank you very much. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Adjourn.
Recording stopped.
So note the date and the time. We got out here at 11:22.
Yes.